everyone, and welcome to Oslo. Today is June 14th, and I traveled all the way to Norway today for the inaugural flight of Norse Atlantic Airways. Haven't heard of Norse Atlantic yet? Well, chances are that you'll be learning more and more about this Norwegian startup, as they'll be launching a whole host of transatlantic routes in the coming months. Norse Atlantic is a budget airline that was born out of the demise of Norwegian Air Shuttle's long-haul operations. While Norse shares a lot of the same features of Norwegian's failed long-haul service, including some senior management and the same 787 Dreamliners that Norwegian flew, this new airline is determined to avoid the mistakes that Norwegian made and operate profitable flights in a notoriously difficult sector of the market. When I got to the gate, the celebrations were in full swing. Everyone was given some food and soft drinks, and I even managed to catch a little bit of the ribbon-cutting ceremony with the CEO. Then it was time to walk down the red carpet and get ready to board our flight to New York. Norse has a fleet of 9 Dreamliners, which they refer to as Longships, and named each one of them after a national park, like the one I'll be on today named Rondane. Personally, I think calling the planes Longships is a really cool way to pay tribute to Norway's exploratory Viking past, and hopefully the aircraft's names will encourage travelers to visit some of these national parks. I managed to book this flight very last minute for only about $170. This was one of their basic economy tickets that didn't include any extras like seat selection, meals, or checked bags. If I wanted any of those options, I'd need to pay. This aircraft has 288 economy seats in a 333 layout. There's also 56 premium economy seats up in front. Premium economy was a little too expensive when I booked this flight though, so I settled for seat 33A. I ended up spending $45 to select this seat, but prices vary from $25 to sit in the middle seat way in the back to $75 to be closer to the front. The cabin really hasn't been changed from this plane's days with Norwegian, except for some minor alterations. And that's not really a bad thing since I was always comfortable flying on Norwegian. All in all, the seats are pretty nice. They have adjustable headrests, and they recline. The legroom was fine, and I found that there was adequate space in the seat back pocket to store my things. The IFE screen has a USB port, and the tray table pulls out and is pretty large. There's also reading lights and individual air nozzles, and the 787 has massive overhead bins to store your things. Keeping in mind that this is a budget carrier, it's definitely difficult to find fault with this economy cabin. However, when it came to boarding, there were some issues.
There was a discrepancy between the passenger numbers, so we're just going to make sure that we have everybody on board. It's going to take a couple of minutes to do the head count, and then we'll be on our way.
Several head counts ensued, and then eventually everyone needed to grab their boarding passes for further inspection.
For the delay, we are almost finished. In the meantime, we do want to do a little celebration with you. Just have the crew come through the aisle, hand you a little something special.
The crew handed out some sparkling wine, and then we pushed back from the gate at 9:30 at night. Yes, this was a pretty bad delay, but I chalked this up to teething problems more than anything else. I mean, a brand new airline on their very first revenue flight is bound to have some issues. Now that we're up in the air, it's time to settle in for this 8-hour flight. Seatback entertainment isn't something you usually expect to find on a budget airline, but not only does Norse offer IFE systems, there's actually a decent selection of movies and TV shows available. There's no moving map, however. Instead, there's this screen with flight data on it. Norse offers an extensive selection of buy-on-board food and drinks, and they began the meal service by taking everyone's order who wished to buy something off the in-flight menu first. This meant that I had to wait a while for my food since I pre-ordered a meal during booking, and I finally got my dinner around midnight. I ordered a main meal for $30, and once the flight attendants came around, I had a choice between chicken or fish. I went with the chicken, which came with some rice, vegetables, and some bread. Admittedly, this was a pretty basic meal, and I'm not sure it was worth $30, but it tasted fine and I was absolutely starving by the time it was served. Once dinner was cleared away, the cabin crew turned off the lights and darkened the plane's windows. I figured now would be a good time to stretch my legs and visit the lavatory. There's quite a few lavatories on board, and the crew did a nice job keeping them clean for the entire flight. When I got back to my seat, I sat back and relaxed as we made our way to North America. The CEO was on board and he came around and chatted with everyone. He was a very nice man, and you could tell how enthusiastic he and the rest of the crew were about their new airline. 2 hours before landing, the lights were turned back on, and the pre-landing meal was served to those who ordered one. I decided to buy one for $20 during booking, and I received this warm tomato and mozzarella sandwich along with some macaroons. This meal tasted great and was actually a lot better than the main meal I had before. And then the lights of New York came into view, and the crew handed out some cupcakes and sparkling wine to celebrate.
I just want to say on behalf of our entire company on Norse, it has been a true honor and a true pleasure to take care of your safety and service. We try to make every day at Norse a very special occasion, but I have to say, today was just a little bit extra special because you all made it. You made our first journey the most memorable. We truly appreciate it. We look forward to many, many return flights with you. Again, we're always here for your travel needs, and thank you for being friends and family now. Have a wonderful time in New York, and if you're going beyond, have many magical journeys. Thank you again.
This was a great flight, and it was made all the better by the wonderful crew who worked tirelessly throughout the entire journey to make sure that everyone was comfortable. When I first started off in my career and wasn't making very much money, I really relied on Norwegian to travel to Europe. So I was upset when their transatlantic service went bust. And that's one of the main reasons why I'm rooting for Norse Atlantic to succeed, as their inexpensive and yet comfortable flights are sure to open up new and exciting destinations for travelers who may not have deep pockets.
On behalf of Norse Atlantic, the commander and the cabin crew would like to thank you for flying with us today.
Have a great night. Thanks for being with us.
And that'll do it for this video. It's true that Norse still has some kinks to work out, but do you think you'll be flying with them this summer? Let me know below. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon.